If you or someone you know is having thoughts of self-harm, please call 1-800-273-8255. 24 hours a day. Again, that's 1-800-273-8255.
And that's Chester Bennington singing the song Numb with his band Linkin Park, and his voice has gone silent forever.
Chester Bennington, the lead singer of the rock band Linkin Park, was found dead. Linkin Park lead singer Chester Bennington has committed suicide.
Chester Bennington, Linkin Park.
Decorations under a sky of dust, a constant wave of tension on top of broken trust. The lessons that you taught me, I learned were never true. Now I find myself in question.
They point the finger at me again.
Guilty by association.
You point the finger at me again.
I wanna run away, never say goodbye. I wanna know the truth instead of wondering why. I wanna know the answers, no more lies. I wanna shut the door and open up my mind. Paper bags and angry voices under a sky of dust. Another wave of tension has more than filled me up. On my talk of taking action, these words were never true. Now I find myself in question.
They point the finger at me again.
Guilty by association.
You point the finger at me again.
I wanna run away, never say goodbye. I wanna know the truth instead of wondering why. I wanna know the answers, no more lies. I wanna shut the door and open up my mind. Gonna run away and never say goodbye.
Gonna run away, gonna run away. Gonna run away, gonna run away.
I'm gonna run away and never wonder why.
Gonna run away, gonna run away. Gonna run away, gonna run away.
I'm gonna run away and open up my mind.
Run away, gonna run away. Gonna run away, gonna run away. Gonna run away, gonna run away. Gonna run away, gonna run away.
I wanna run away, never say goodbye. I wanna know the truth instead of wondering why. I wanna know the answers, no more lies. I wanna shut the door and open up my mind. I wanna run away and open up my mind. I wanna run away and open up my mind. I wanna run away and open up my mind. I wanna run away and open up my mind.
Once again, here we go with a Howie Coffee Show. We saying things that you don't want to hear, then we saying things that you might want to hear. But Howie at the coffee shop, where the Howie at the coffee shop, where the Howie at the coffee shop.
Welcome now.
Howie at the coffee shop, where Howie at the coffee shop,
Right.
where Howie at the
Fucking
coffee
welcome to
shop,
Howie at the coffee shop. I'm Kenny.
I'm Mike.
So yeah, man.
You guys can see it's starting out. Nothing's fucking changed. It's all fucked up.
Yeah, man. I don't know if you're aware, man, if you're keen, but yeah, we had some terrible technical difficulties tonight. So thanks very much to Mike Moore of the legendary Wheelbarrow Full of Dicks for helping us out. And
Yeah, only took an hour and 20 minutes to log in tonight.
yeah, so but we're here. So yeah, man. So big news, man. So Chester Bennington of Linkin Park hung himself.
I know, man. We just sitting here listening to this fucking Linkin Park music. I mean, I wasn't a fan, but if you listen to their old shit and you listen to this last album,
Well, if you listen to like any of their music, and we just listened to the last album as we were sitting here trying to.
so you know what that was, right? This was his goodbye suicide album.
I mean,
Is what it was, because I think all these vocals. I mean, man, I'm not sure. They might. I could be mixing something up with being mixed or something. I was thinking all the vocals were laid down after Chris Cornell.
Well, so apparently Chris Cornell and Chester were friends, and he killed himself on Chris Cornell's birthday.
Well, check this out, man. I didn't know this, and so I was reading this. Chester was actually the godfather to Chris's kids.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So, wow, so they were extremely close then.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Real
it couldn't
close.
have been a coincidence that it happened
Right.
on his birthday. You know, that's, to me, that seems like that's just like another reason to do it. But yeah, so their newest album, which, I don't know, came out recently. We were going to have the date for you, but, you know, we were putting out fires and shit like usual here in the coffee shop. And, yeah, we still haven't replaced Sarah, so, yeah, but, like, oh well. Anyway, but yeah, so the newest album is, One More Light. And, you know, which, you know, that sounds like one more light. What does that mean? You know, you want to get philosophical about it.
Right. I mean, just everything you listen to about it, the song titles, the words, just sounds like this is my goodbye album. And, you know, people, this is one comment I got to make before I forget. People are dogging this album out right now.
Yeah.
This is going to be their biggest fucking selling album ever now.
Oh, it definitely is. I mean, it's brand new, you know. It hasn't been out long. But it's totally different because when you think Linkin Park, you know, generally everybody's going to say new metal band, right?
Right.
And, you know, they evolved beyond the new metal thing, you know, in their career. And they were doing something kind of different there for like a big period over the last 10 years or whatever.
Yeah.
But then this album is a pop album.
Right.
Like, we're listening to moments of it, and it's like, okay, man, like, if I just heard this on the radio, I would think this was the new Justin Bieber album, you know?
Right.
And there's like another song I was like, which is one of the singles, Heavy. And I was like, man, if I heard this, I would have thought that's Justin Timberlake. I think I have heard that on the radio and thought it was Justin Timberlake.
Who knows, man?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, not to dog the guy out or whatever, you know, I'm not insulting him. I mean, fuck, man, I wish I could sing like Justin Timberlake, you know?
Right.
I wish, you know, you turn on Howie at the coffee shop, be like, hey, man, I think Justin Timberlake's on tonight. No, it's just Kenny singing again.
Right.
But no, man, but I mean, like, I don't know, maybe this is what he really wanted to do. Maybe it's just like, yeah, this is it. We'll put this album out, and then I'm gonna fucking go hang myself.
Right. I mean, what are you thinking those days? I'm sure, you know, the whole Chris Cornell thing, it really comes into play now.
Right.
You figure out how close they were.
And, but, you know, and you listen to any of their lyrics, you know, and it's all like, oh, man, this guy's dealing with stuff. But, like, the thing that really angers me, and I'm angry about it, you know, for the most part, because it's like, okay, you listen to these lyrics, and, I mean, you know, right off the bat, as soon as you hear them, you know, and let alone hear the stories of kids who are like, yeah, man, that helped me through stuff and made me not want to kill myself, you know.
Right.
And that's been going on for almost the last 20 years.
Right.
And so, you know, and I guarantee you there wasn't a single show they played where some kid didn't tell him, yeah, you saved my life and shit like that, you know, and truly meant it.
Yeah.
And, you know, when somebody says that shit to you, you know if they're just fucking with you or not, you know. It's like, yeah, man, I saved that fucking dude's life. That's cool as shit. But,
Right.
you know, man, it's like that's irresponsible. At a certain point, you know, you have a responsibility to fucking provide, like, hope and some sort of fucking, you know, will to live for other
Right.
people. You know, that's your job when you fucking, you know, make millions of dollars, because not very many people in the music industry anymore make millions of dollars.
No.
But I mean, all those guys in Linkin Park, they were fucking millionaires, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And you know, they've been one of the biggest bands for, like I said, for almost the last 20 years. The guy had 6 fucking kids.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I mean, it doesn't get more selfish than that, you know? It's like not only your kids, but like kids all across the entire world, not just the U.S. or in Los Angeles, you know, but everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, because you know how many kids? It's funny, man, because, you know, there's people I've met at shows, you know, it's like younger than me, you know, or whatever, and they'll Facebook me and we'll talk through that, you know. But
Yeah.
their generation was Linkin Park, you know, and it's funny to see how emotional those kids are.
Oh, yeah,
You
man.
know,
I
I'm
mean, like,
well, I'm not saying I said it's funny. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just,
I mean, because, yeah, for a lot of kids, you know, because they've been around for a long time. So there are kids that, you know, their older brother listened to Linkin Park, and they listen to Linkin Park as far back as they can remember, you know, and that's what they grew up listening to. But then this new album comes out, and like, that's fucking shit, you know, and all the critics are like, that's fucking shit.
Yeah.
And like that. I mean, just stop bullying people. You know, if you don't like it, you say, I didn't like that one too much.
Right.
Because there's people writing huge fucking essays on how much they hate this album. And, you know, then a few days later, a guy dies. You know, it's
right.
It's terrible.
I'm like, man, there's some albums, though, that I could say, man, I fucking hated that album. But now you go back and listen to it, and you're like, man, that album's bad as fuck now. Most
albums that I hated when they came out, later on, those became my favorite albums by those artists, you know? And it's almost like that every time. But, you know, going back to the Goodbye album, like, you know, Nirvana's last album, our friend Jofo, man, he used to run this little magazine thing, and I wrote this big article on how the Nirvana's last album was a suicide note to his fans, you know? Yeah. How it was my, you know, goodbye album. I mean, most of what I wrote was bullshit, you know? I was reaching as far as you could, you know? But anyway, but, you know, so I analyzed that, you know, and there's a couple moments where it's like, man, I could kind of see it. But, you know, this album, you know, One More Light by Linkin Park, if you just go through the track listing, so it starts off, the first track is Nobody Can Save Me, and we're going to play a moment of this, because this is the song where I was like, oh man, I would have thought that was Justin Bieber had I heard it on the radio, you know? And so, and from what I do know of Linkin Park's previous albums, all of them started off with some sort of like intro, you know? It was like some weird intro to get you into this, you know, like crazy little music experience, you know, they're about to give you. But this one starts off with this. And, I mean...
I know.
It's weird. And, I mean, you can't, you know, smack me in the face saying I would think this was Justin Timberlake, you know? Or not Justin Timberlake, but Justin Bieber. JB, not JT.
Right. Hell, I probably can tell you the difference between those two.
Well, you know, Justin Timberlake, I don't necessarily like his music, but, you know, as a person, I think he's a good person. You know what I mean?
I like him in movies and shit, you know?
Oh yeah, he's a fantastic actor, but yeah, as far as like musically, you know, I'm not like you know, I'm not like fucking on the Justin Timberlake bandwagon, but you know, he's one of the guys that I really respect, you know, and I'm like, oh man, I'm glad that guy is one of the guys that has more money than anyone related to him for the next, you know, fucking 4 generations is ever gonna need. Yeah. Like, you know, he seems like a good guy. I mean, really, all those NSYNC guys, like, they're all fucking good guys. I mean, one's gay and everything, you know, and fucking hasn't worked since he came out of the closet, which is kind of sad, you know. Yeah. But he's hopefully he's still got some NSYNC money, because I know all the other guys are like doing something or other, right? And like Joey Fatone, he's got like a restaurant or something, doesn't he?
Yeah. You know, no, let him do a fucking... I want to hear somebody come out with a gay album.
Well, there's lots of gay albums.
You know what I mean? We haven't heard it. You hear all these ones, you know, about, yeah, I'm fucking this chick tonight, or this chick, you know.
Well, there's actually some of that happening now, especially like in the rap world. There's a couple of rappers that are like, you know, big fag rappers, you know, kind of is how they're referred to, you know, because it's like, you know, they sing songs about sucking dick and having guys come on their face, get fucked in the ass. You know, it's like, whose dick am I gonna suck tonight? You know, shit like that, you know? And it's just like, well, I mean, we'll have to dig in and find some of that. I can't tell you any of the names of it, but I've heard like bits and pieces, and I'm like, man, that shit's cool as fuck. And first thing that comes to my mind is like, we should play it on the show.
Right.
Yeah,
that wouldn't be something we would play, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that "Who's Dick Am I Gonna Suck Tonight" was exactly something I heard before, but that's another one of our songs.
Yeah,
yeah.
Man, I was going through some shit the other day. When I was like, probably the same day, man, I was mowing the yard when I came up with the one story.
Yeah.
When we come back. And then, man, I was like, later on that night, I was going through some old CDs, and I had all these Bob and Tom. I'm like, man, we were to fucking make CDs. We would sell them like crazy.
Yeah, man. See, I really do want to kind of take the Bob and Tom business model of making albums.
Right.
And, we've talked about it, we've talked about doing it digitally. I mean, it's a lot of work,
Oh yeah.
which, fuck, man, Sarah, come back. That'd be cool.
But shit, man. Hell, because I've been looking at some basses, man. I've been finding some pretty sweet deals.
Yeah, man, I just fixed up my guitar, and I wanted to hook up the Ghetto Rig little rock band drum kit to the studio and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't get to. But yeah, man, we pretty much got like a full setup, man. We got the fucking keyboard and everything, so we're ready to fucking just come in here. We're gonna sing you songs about whose dick am I gonna suck tonight. Walk up in the club and be like, his asshole looks tight.
Oh, man.
I mean, fuck, dude. Yeah, you get a badass fucking beat behind it, some real hardcore shit.
Right?
Yeah, man. Fucking imagine you're driving through the hood and people just hear that badass beat. You got your window down, and then you're at the stoplight, and then the dude's like, ooh, yeah, he gonna stick his dick in my face, in my face. You're like, man, fuck this white boy. We about to drag him out and fuck his face and shoot him.
Right?
Yeah, that wouldn't be too good, man. But all right, so
man.
So then track number 2 is "Good Goodbye," and that one, I don't know, it features some Stormy person and some other stuff. But and then Talking to Myself, that's the single, and I guess that single they released basically the moment they found out he died and put the video out and everything. And we talked about this song earlier, as we were listening to it, and this song really sounds like, it's like, hey, I can't talk to my wife anymore, shit sucks at home.
You know what? You know how they did release that all of a sudden, all that shit.
Yeah.
I wonder how many fucking hits that shit has really gotten now, you know?
We'll find out here in a moment. But yeah, man, I mean that's what you got from the song, right? It's pretty blatant, and the dude always talked about his problems, and again, and kids identify with that, and but I feel like there's literally thousands of kids out there right now. It's like, oh well, shit doesn't get any better, fuck, he was 41 and he still killed himself, it's like, why am I gonna fucking hang around for so long?
Yeah, man, the music of today right now is not really good for kids.
No, there's not a lot good for kids right now. The internet really, it can be a dark place, and when that dark place becomes, the culture, that's really the culture right now. There's nothing else except for the internet, It's like you talk to people and they're like, OMG fucking shit,
Oh yeah.
And then people even tell you shit now like fucking semicolon, capital P and shit like that,
Yeah.
And it's like, you stop thinking about it. It's like, so you just winked at me and stuck your tongue out? Like, why wouldn't you just do that? It's like, and have you ever had someone say LOL? Mm-hmm. It's like, dude, what the fuck, man? You're not laughing out loud. You're just saying LOL. You're a fucking faggot. Get out of my face, dude. What the fuck?
Yeah. I hated, everybody's used it. That.
Yeah.
And that became a real trend. I was like, fuck, no, I never used it again.
Yeah, like, there's sometimes it's like, I don't know how to respond, so I'm just going to say LOL. You know what I mean? Because,
Right.
yeah, that's funny, but there's really no other, sometimes there's nothing else to say, but hey, man, that's funny, but you got to respond, Like, fuck, man. Earlier today, some guy sent me a video of him, stirring a drink with his dick. And I was like, hey, man, that's funny.
Or like that fucking picture I put up on Minnie and Dustin's thing. That would be so freaky, though. Be on a train, wake up, and that dude looks like Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, so some meme. And it's this dude dressed like Freddy with a bald head, kind of looks like Robert Englund. He's got like the big pointy nose and everything, and he's sitting on a subway, literally like if you put the mask on, he's Freddy.
Right.
And yeah, man, some dude. What the meme say? It was like, fell asleep on the subway, woke up, almost shit myself.
Yeah. No shit, man. Because wouldn't that just fuck with you being a big Freddy fan all those years? Wake up and see that, and when you're kind of tired, and you just That first glance, you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, well, the thing that I wonder is, like, man, did somebody ever tell him, man, you look like Freddy Krueger? Because you got to be a real asshole to say that to somebody, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, and the dude looked kind of melancholy. Like, maybe that's why he was like that, because people have been telling me he looks like Freddy Krueger all day.
Right.
It's like, man, I'm upset. I'm going to go home and hang my fucking self.
Man.
So, okay, suicide is not a joke,
No.
but gore is.
I mean, all right. See, people are going off about the whole Guar thing.
So, for people who don't know, well, okay, so I'm going to pull up the video.
Because, yeah, man, that actually happened in Indy there tonight. I was like, wow, fuck, if I'd still lived in Indy, I'd have been there.
Yeah, so this was during Warped Tour.
Suicide is no joke, but Linkin Park is. Oh, bring back the motherfucking bone!
Bring back motherfucking what, did he say?
I could not tell what he said at the end.
Yeah, I don't know. But so that had everybody in an uproar, and I mean, Gore's made jokes about fucking Elvis dying on the toilet and shit like that over the years, and
man, Guar's done the fucking OJ, the Paris Hilton, everybody, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
it's fucking Guar. If they didn't do it, you would be disappointed.
Yeah,
you know, because they're gonna bring out. Somewhere on this tour, the stage show is going to change, and they're going to bring this dude out hanging, probably, or some crazy shit Gore is going to do.
And it's Gore, so it's like, man, that's kind of a fucking tribute. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, fucking Gore is doing something about you. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, if I was in a fucking band and I fucking died and Gore made fun of it on stage, I'd be like, that's pretty cool.
Right.
You know, but that's Gore, you know, and if you don't know Gore, especially by now, you know, like,
right.
Because I feel like, you know, Gore is, man, I want to say nowadays, Gore is as well known to the kids as Kiss.
Right.
Honestly, because, like, you know, there's a lot of kids who are like, who the fuck is Kiss, you know?
Right.
But there's a lot of kids that are like, oh, yeah, man, I've heard of Gore. I've never fucking heard them, but yeah.
Yeah, I know, man.
But, yeah, because, I don't know, man, metal is like, kind of, in which, I guess it's a weird time to put out an album like fucking One More, whatever.
Yeah.
One More Bright Sunshine.
Just right now, I think the metal
One More
crowd,
Light.
you got to bring it more metal right now. That's what they want.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, because, you know, metal's evolved a lot, just the music itself, you know, and then there's, like, you know, and metal's got a firm standing now, you know, it's like, because if you look at metal now, you know, and then you look at, like, rock and roll in the 70s, metal's been around, you know, longer than that now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't know. It's just like, you know, I think, you know, people take metal more seriously now because it's been around for so long, I think, for one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's so many fans that, you know, and there's a lot of metal fans, which isn't always a good thing, that are, you know, just metal fans. If it's not metal, you know, I'm not fucking listening to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so you can't be like that, man, you know, because, you know, that's being closed-minded. But, you know, there's not a lot of, like, old metal guys that are like that, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, because if you're an old school metal guy, man, those guys have some NWA CDs, some Ice Cube, and
yeah.
shit.
And if you go even further back, you know, those metal guys, you know, they started off as hippies and shit like that, you know? And probably listen to fucking jazz or whatever the fuck, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And so yeah, man, metal just, because metal never really died. You know, it kept growing. Like, it didn't grow in the mainstream very much, but underground, you know, underground, it only grew stronger. You know what I mean? Than it, you know, it never died off underground. I don't think at all.
Fuck no, man.
And now, you know, I think kind of as a result of the geek culture, the underground culture is kind of rising too. You know what I mean? Because they do kind of go hand in hand. It's like, oh yeah, man, all these dudes that fucking read comic books are cool as fuck. I'm gonna blow them. And it's like, oh, what kind of music they listen to? This shit's fucking cool, you know?
Right.
Metal is just kind of, I don't know, man. It's I don't think it's done blowing up, but it is blowing up right now, you know. And I feel like, you know, the last time that metal was really heavy in the mainstream was probably, I don't know, let's say like 2008-ish or so, you know, like the pop metal, you know, not really the all the other metal, the stuff that's not played on the radio.
Yeah.
And that alone's a whole world, because you call a band a metal band, most people are going to be like, okay, metal, they fucking melodic metal, fucking, why don't they even go through their whole fucking list, And
yeah.
And you're like, whoa, what is dark carcass metal? That sounds awesome.
But see, man, metal is coming back so much stronger because you got all these fucking bands, especially maybe because I noticed it a lot more here being in Tampa because there's so many fucking bands that live here now. It was like on Earache Records or whatever, It's kind of been retired now. All of a sudden, those guys are playing like every couple of weeks, and shit.
Right.
So, yeah, you got all these old school bands coming back, man.
Yeah, and then, of course, the few big tours that just happened, like like the fucking Slayer Anthrax tour, and then Metallica, and I really do kind of regret I didn't go see Metallica in Orlando because a buddy of mine went and he had a real good spot on, man, it looked like he was like 20 feet from the stage, and he had a great spot, and while they were still setting up, he was fucking, sending pictures to Facebook and everything, and I was like, dude, that looks so fucking awesome. I wish I was there, and it's like stage isn't even fucking done yet.
Damn.
But yeah, dude, because I've never seen Metallica, and it's kind of like,
really?
Man, I kind of feel like everybody should see Metallica. I mean, if you like, any of Metallica stuff, there's some people who be like, no, man, I'm gonna go see Garth Brooks. I want to see fuck Metallica,
Oh yeah, man, you got to. See, I was lucky enough, man, to get to see Cliff Burton twice.
Yeah.
Because the Master of Puppets tour, when they toured with Ozzy, and then the Monsters of Rock with Van Halen. So, and then I went to Injustice for All tour. But after that, I was like, I don't really care to ever go see Metallica again,
Right.
I was like, it's over for me.
Yeah. And man, I would like to hear like opinions from Linkin Park fans, if there are any out there. And so moving on with the track list here. So Battle Sympathy is the 4th song. And we're going to take a listen to that for a minute. And I'm sure if you've ever heard Linkin Park on the radio before, like 99% of America has.
Right.
You might think this is a little different.
Go and a long memory. I've been searching for an answer, always just out of reach. Blood on the floor, sirens repeat. I've been searching for the courage to face my enemies when they turn down the lights. I hear my battle symphony, all the world in front of me. If my armor breaks, I'll fuse it back together. Battle symphony, please just don't give up on me. And my eyes are wide awake for my battle symphony.
And so Mike's completely convinced that this is Chester's suicide album.
And I really do, man. Because, everybody does something before they die like that.
Well, David Bowie, I think, had the best goodbye album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially, his last single, which I believe the video came out the day he died.
Yeah.
And, that was the best goodbye song anybody's ever done. But David Bowie had cancer, and David Bowie knew he was dying, and, it was different. But a lot of people do, and, you go back to Chris Cornell, the thing with him, it's really sad because, he had his mental issues, and there was the medication issue and all that, So yeah, that was just a really sad, unfortunate situation. But
so man, it makes me wonder: was Oh Boy almost there, and that put him over?
The Chris Cornell thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it might have,
I mean, I haven't watched. I guess there's a video we are to check out.
About those two?
There's one of Chester doing an acoustic song at Cornell's funeral on YouTube.
Okay, yeah, let's check that out here in just a moment. But man, so I do want to play the other clip from the other single, "Heavy." This is the one I thought was a fucking Justin Timberlake song, man. But with the song being called "Heavy" when it came up, man, I thought it was gonna be heavy.
Yeah.
I don't like my mind right now. Stacking up problems that are so unnecessary. Wish that I could slow things down. I wanna let go, but there's comfort in the panic. And I drive myself crazy, thinking everything's about me. Yeah, I drive myself crazy, 'cause I can't escape the gravity. I'm holding on. Why is everything so heavy? Holding on to so much more than I can carry. I keep dragging around what's bringing me down. If I just let go, I'd be set free. Holding on.
Why is everything so heavy? You say that I'm paranoid, but I'm pretty sure the water's out to get me. It's not like I made the choice, so let my mind stay so fucking messy. I know I'm not the center of the universe, but you keep spinning around me just the same. I know I'm not the center of the universe, but you keep spinning around me just the same. I'm holding on. Why is everything so heavy? Holding on to so much more than I can carry. I keep dragging around what's bringing me down. If I just let go, I'd be set free. Holding on. Why is everything so heavy?
I know I'm not the center of the universe. You keep spinning around me just the same. I know I'm not the center.
So yeah, and like I said, I'm pretty sure I have heard the song on the radio and thought it was Justin Timberlake. But
Yeah, earlier, because you asked me, you're like, have you heard the new Linkin Park? And I'm like, no. If I would have heard it, I wouldn't have known I heard it,
yeah, it's crazy because there are a handful of songs that I do really like, but yeah, I don't know. It's definitely a different sound. I mean, it might be his Suicide album. It does really seem like it. And then
Yeah.
People dealing with shit, and then you get to something where like a really close friend commits suicide. I mean, it could be the thing that pushes you over the edge.
It could be. Because we were talking outside, man, thinking all the people that's hung themselves.
Yeah, so of course Chris Cornell and and Ian Curtis from Joy Division,
Right.
and he hung himself the day that it was like an hour later or something like that. Joy Division ended up being played on American radio for the first time, and it kind of sucks he didn't live to see that. But he had epilepsy, and he had some pretty significant relationship issues at the time. But he was like 23, I think, when he killed himself.
Yeah.
And he was in a great band that would have been legendary and probably would have changed music altogether had he stuck around a few more years at least.
Yeah.
Earlier we were talking about how some Linkin Park songs sound a lot like other songs.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find the one song that we were talking about earlier. Fuck. See, we had all this stuff ready to go, but anyhow, all right. So and you go through the rest of the songs on this album, and so after Heavy, you got Sorry for Now, Halfway Right, One More Light, which is the title track of the album, and this song is pretty depressing. I haven't went and analyzed the lyrics or anything, but it's a pretty depressing album, I would say. And I don't know if they did this album in this manner to kind of compete with maybe the bands that kids like today. You know, because 21 Pilots is, one of the big kind of alternative like bands nowadays, and but they spread a really positive message, especially about like suicide and stuff like that. And they kind of sound like this, but they've got like a tad bit of metal thrown in there, you know. So it seems kind of weird that when stuff like that is popular, like Linkin Park would go a little beyond the spectrum,
right?
There are things that we can have, but can't keep. If they say, who cares if one more light goes out in the sky of a million stars? It flickers. Who cares when someone's time runs out?
So, I mean, these lyrics, man, it's pretty sad.
Oh, look, man, I'm not really finding any other musicians that hung themselves, but I forgot he hung himself, too. That's how he died,
Jonathan Brandis. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, he had a big career ahead of him, I feel like. Yeah, it's really sad when you see that, just being successful and maybe having a lot of money and a lot of fans and followers or whatever, it's not enough, It's like there's still something that's missing for some people. And then the album wraps up with a song called Sharp Edges.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I do wonder if it was his plan all along.
Mama always told me, don't you run.
And this song sounds like John Mayer or something,
Yeah.
Mama told me, look before you leave.
So it does kind of suck that, he was ridiculed by, a handful of fans, right there at the end as he releases, what we're calling his suicide album.
Well, man, it's how Mick Jagger's fucking girlfriend killed herself, too.
Oh, really? She hung herself?
Yeah. Fuck yeah, Chris Benoit.
Yeah. Well, he killed his whole family first, didn't he? Yeah.
And then hung himself.
Yeah, so that's a little different.
Wow, man. I mean, I'm going through, and it's like all these famous authors and all kinds of people, but they all hung themselves due to depression. It says, who is Stevie Ryan?
Stevie Ryan?
Yeah, some famous YouTube star.
Yeah, I don't know.
She just hung herself.
She just did?
Well, July 1st.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, like, since that, it was like, oh.
I'm like, what the fuck? It took me to like this other thing. It was all of them because the next person that popped up was Steve Martin. I'm like, damn, Steve Martin's dead.
That would really suck, man.
I'm like, fuck, he just said he was coming back. Man.
Oh, wait, I found it. I found it. Okay. So let's listen to this song for a moment. So this is, oh, fuck. That's the live version, son of a bitch. What were you going to say?
Look, man, I'm going through here. Most of these fucking stars that kill themselves is just because they can't kick heroin.
Really?
Yeah, and I know he had a drug habit. I don't know what his drug was, so I wonder.
Who's that?
Chester.
Oh, yeah, they keep saying that. But, it's like, what does that mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure what. He had a drug problem. I'm just not sure what his drug of choice was.
Yeah, and he lived in Los Angeles, and, like, weed is legal for recreational use over there. So, I mean, if it's weed, are they going to say drug problem?
No.
Yeah.
So I think it's something heavier.
Maybe. I mean, which, that would make sense a little more. But, okay. So, let's listen to this song for a moment. This is Linkin Park's Shadow of the Day from their Minutes to Midnight album. I think this was their third studio album. Now, this song reminds me of something, and I want you at home to see if you can figure out what song it reminds me of.
I closed both locks below the window. I closed both blinds and turned away. Your friends all plead for you to stay. Sometimes beginnings aren't so simple. Sometimes goodbye's the only way. Oh, and the sun will set for you. The sun.
So, like, this song, I think this is a good song, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, and this is one of those songs, this is like the perfect, like, end of the movie song, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely do.
Yeah, and, you know, and that's really what makes me like a lot of songs. It's like, oh, yeah, man, and every time I listen to this song, I see the end of some random movie that never happened in my head, you know?
Right.
It's like, those are the best, you know? But the song that this reminds me of, man, and I've always thought this, but let's see if you feel the same.
Right, and the bad thing is, this is what, With or Without You?
Yeah, by you too.
Yeah, let's see.
See the stone set in your eyes. See the thorn twist in your side. I'll wait for you. Sleight of hand and twist of fate. On a bed of nails she makes me wait. And I wait without you. With or without you. With or without you. Through the storm we reach the shore. You gave it all, but I want more. And I'm waiting for you. With or without you. With or without you, I can't live. With or without you. And you give yourself away. And you give yourself away. And you give.
But, so, I mean, you listen to those two songs back to back, I think you can easily hear that, well, I mean, if you ask me, I think that song influenced the Linkin Park song.
You would think so.
Yeah, and I'm not really a U2 fan either, but I think U2 does have some badass songs, and that's one of them, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And, again, it's an end of the movie song, too, you
Yeah.
know? That's the thing about it. But, yeah, man, like, in U2, like, their last two albums, you know, if you have an iPhone, you got the album, whether you wanted it or
Yeah.
not. Which, you know, that does go towards their sales for the album, you know, but I don't know if they've canceled that out somehow or not, you know, because I don't.
Yeah.
And you got to ask yourself, like, how many people went out and bought that U2 album, you know, because, like, fuck, man, probably, like, everybody who wanted it was like, oh, look, got it for free, you know. There's, like, maybe a couple Android users out there. It's like, fuck, man, I got to get an iPhone, so I always get the U2 album for free.
Right.
But, you know, and I don't know if it's on Spotify or not. I don't know if they have some sort of, like, exclusive little contract with Apple or whatever, you know,
Yeah.
doing it that way. You know, man, I do kind of hate that, you know, so far in the season 3, there's so much, like, suicide talk, you know. It's like, oh, man, this person killed themselves and all that.
Look, man, I was thinking earlier. I went to take a piss. So, you know, I'm doing my best thinking. I'm like, people are like, man, fuck Howie in a coffee shop. Their last two shows, man, Chris Cornell died, now he died.
Right. Yeah, so
they're going to be like, fuck, man. You guys just come on and do this tribute show. We don't see you again for a couple months till the next person dies.
well, man, it's because, you know, we're fucking lost in time.
Right. People will understand next week.
Yeah, well, one of these weeks they'll understand.
Yeah.
Sometime you'll understand. But, yeah, man. Just look, don't get too used to that internet shit. It doesn't last forever, man.
Right.
Fuck, man. Future sucks, dude. Everybody's playing fucking checkers.
Right. Nobody knows what a computer is. You're like, man, I want to stream the fucking 108 season of Stranger Things, and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Stream what?
Yeah, man, 1984, things only get stranger, man. Come on.
Right.
Like, fuck, man, it should be at least 2,000 on that show by this point. Man,
Yeah.
have you seen Stranger Things yet?
I haven't yet. That's what I'm getting ready to watch.
So in October, season 2, or part 2, as it's called, is coming out. And man, like, for all you people who haven't seen Stranger Things, you gotta watch it, especially if you love shit from the 80s, because the entire thing is an homage to the 80s. I was watching Will Wheaton and Kevin Smith talk the other day, and they were doing some IMDb thing. Kevin Smith is, like the IMDb guy now. Every time I get on IMDb, like, I just, well, look, Kevin Smith's talking to somebody. I wanted to hear what they had to say anyway. He's going to ask him a good question at least. So, fuck, let's check this out, And, so, yeah, he's talking to Will Wheaton, and they were talking about Stranger Things, just talking about, kind of, hyping the upcoming season and everything. Yeah. And, Will Wheaton was talking about watching it with his wife, and then there was one part where he said he almost pissed himself, and he looks at his wife. He's like, they're doing Stand By Me, right? Like, they've homaged like all the other cool stuff from the 80s. He's like, am I being fucking some fucking jerk here, or is that Stand By Me? And so he was like, that's really amazing. And he went on to talk about how that movie really kind of maybe in some ways set the tone for everyone's career and life in general after that.
Yeah.
And he went on to, like, if you look at it, because Will Wheaton now, he's primarily a writer, and he pointed out how, most of his success has come from writing about when he was young. And then, of course, River Phoenix, his character, died at like 16 or it was 21 or something like that, right? When his character died in the movie. He said something about it. I think he came back from the army or whatever, got in a knife fight in a bar or something. I can't remember. Sorry to spoil the ending of Stand By Me. I think that movie came out in 1986.
Oh, wait a minute. What year did he die?
River Phoenix?
Yeah.
Man, I want to say he was like 23 or something like that, right?
I can't remember, man. I just remember it was like some drug overdose. So
yeah, he overdosed out on like Hollywood Boulevard or something like that. Yeah, and his little brother Joaquin Phoenix was there when it happened.
The funny thing was, man, I read that story, years back, and Joaquin was only 16, but they were at some exclusive bar, on the Strip, and I'm like, and you're like 16 and you're there.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine River Phoenix comes in. It's like, hey, this is my little brother.
Right.
Nobody gives a fuck. That's cool.
He's coming in.
Like, why's your face so fucked up, kid? But yeah, man. So Will Wheaton was talking about how it kind of outlined everybody's life, But then I was thinking about Corey Feldman's character, and I was like, man, I don't know. He became Michael Jackson. Right. That wasn't the end of Stand By Me.
Yeah. So Michael Jackson died and Corey stepped in.
Yeah. It's weird, man. I don't know. I don't remember why we started talking about Will Wheaton.
But speaking of Will Wheaton, it is funny though, because when he is on, Big Bang Theory, when he's on there, he's got a podcast.
Yeah.
So it's funny on his podcast when he interviews Kevin Smith and shit.
Yeah, and like I haven't watched like every episode of Big Bang Theory. Like I like it. I run into a lot of people who don't like it. Like I really like it. I just haven't got to really sit down and watch it. Because like when it was on. But I heard. Did you watch the last episode?
Oh yeah.
I heard something crazy happen, man. Did something crazy happen?
Yeah, man. You just gotta wait and see.
Is it one of those things where you're like, what the fuck? Is it a what the fuck moment, man?
Yeah.
Wow, man. I'm so excited now. I'm going to watch Big Bang Theory in the next couple weeks, dude.
Yeah, because it starts back, man. What, September, October? Something like that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, should I just go watch this episode and just... Or is it like a series of things leading up to it where you gotta
you gotta kind of get there.
Fuck, dude. Yeah, so, man, and we're only months away from Roseanne. Is fucking Lil Dicky, is he in? Lip Nicky? Whatever his fuck. I can never remember that dude's last name for the life of me.
Who are we talking about now?
We're talking about fucking the dude from Big Bang Theory.
Oh, yeah. The guy,
that played David and Roseanne.
yeah, he plays Leonard on there. What the fuck's his name?
Yeah, it's like Jonathan Lil Dicky.
Oh, man, usually I could tell you.
Yeah, but I heard he's hung like a horse, man, so don't take it like that, man.
Yeah, he's in.
Oh, he is in.
Yeah.
Sweet. So yeah, man, I'm super excited about Roseanne, dude. That's the next show where I'm gonna be watching it fucking every week as it's on, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm excited. Cause I mean, the last few things I watched while it was on, you know, of course there was Bates Motel for the last season or two or whatever. I can't remember when the fuck I started watching it. But anyway, there was that, and then the Dick Van Dyke colorized episodes, the two back to back. I did watch those, as they aired, and then and then it sucked, man. Right after that was when Mary Tyler Moore died. Like I would have liked to have seen like some sort of Dick Van Dyke reunion. I always thought it would happen too. You know what I mean? Like something when they're older. You know, it's like them and their grandkids and shit like that or whatever.
Yeah, it would have been cool, huh?
Yeah, or fucking even great grandkids or whatever.
Right. Man, you know who Dick Cavett is?
Because you know Richie was a hippie, man, a couple years later.
Oh, yeah.
Dick Cavett.
Yeah.
I know that name.
Man, he did a talk show back in the day. I recently watched it. You get a chance, watch Mary Tyler Moore was on there.
Okay, that's probably why I know it, because, you know, I've watched, like, a lot of people that I like, you know, on these old talk shows of people I've never heard of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, it almost sounds fake, though, doesn't it, his name?
Dick Cavett. Yeah.
Man, I was going
give you
through
Dick Cavity.
celebrity suicides. This one here just really kind of hurts me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who this person is, so
Okay.
I'm not going to say, but how they died really sucks.
Yeah.
They went, you know how the big fucking mountains are out in the desert?
Yeah.
Out in big mountains, and just jumped.
Really?
Oh, man, can you imagine hitting the ground? Because you're
No.
still alive when you hit the ground, you know, and just like everything breaking and shit.
Yeah, no, like I've always thought, like, because I mean that's one of those things where it's like once you do it, there's no like backing out the last second or whatever,
Yeah,
you
you're
know.
fucked.
Yeah, and I mean, but it does seem like the most fun way to go, you know. It's like fuck, man, I'm gonna try to fly on the way down, but but they say that most people like go in shock on the way down, so they die before they even hit the ground, you know. Well,
Yeah.
mentally, you know, you're not there anymore. You know, maybe you flip out, or you know, you
Oh, I'm
go into
sure.
shock, you
You're
know,
just like, what
fast
the
enough for your body to shut down before you get there.
You're just like, what the fuck did I just do to myself? You know, and you're just freak out for a minute. And you,
Yeah, because you got to imagine, like, you know, when you're on a really badass roller coaster and your fucking cheeks are flying back and everything, you know?
right.
Yeah, dude, it's just imagine jumping off of some giant building in Vegas or something, you know?
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, I hear the windows in Vegas and their hotels don't open anymore, though.
Yeah, they don't.
People, I fucking ruined my life tonight.
Right, man, I lost everything, my house, my car.
Yeah. See, I really want to know how the gambling thing's going to be going here in a few years now that you can just go to Vegas and get high, you know? It's like, people be like, fuck, man, you want me to sit here and spend all my money and drink beer?
Right.
Fuck no, man, I'm going to go get high and watch fucking
Something. Yeah.
Married with Children, dude. You got
Right.
4 episodes on at midnight.
You know it's going to be that way. But then you still got your hardcore gamblers. But what they got to do is when you're sitting there playing, they're like, would you like another joint, sir?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, I know that hotel's gonna exist if it doesn't already.
Yeah, I haven't heard about it, but you know it's coming.
Yeah. Just be sitting at the penny machines all night, you know?
Well, then they probably bring you to the bottom of the shelf shit, you know?
Yeah. Be like, man, bring 4 more of these next time you come. Shit
Right.
sucks.
She'd be like, you go sit at the $20 table. You won't remember what happened. You'll wake up broke tomorrow, bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, man, and you're so fucked up. They're like, you lost. Be like, I did?
Right.
Yeah, man, you lost. Okay.
Yeah.
Play again, man. It was fun. You lost again. Man, I said black. Yeah, but it's not that black. All right, man.
You know, I can imagine that.
Yeah, I mean, probably already there's people getting fucked over. I guarantee you, man, like, because you know those the guys that work the table, man, like the dealers and shit, they gotta get some sort of commission too.
Oh yeah.
And you know, so some guy comes in just baked out of his mind, like I'm gonna fuck this guy. You know, it's like I'm gonna take all of his money.
Oh fuck yeah, you know.
Yeah, because man, imagine how much money you could walk away with at the end of the night if you are making commission being the dealer, you know, and some fucking dumbass high roller comes in.
Right.
Hell yeah, man. I'd be like, fuck, dude, I paid my mortgage tonight.
No shit.
Go buy a new TV. Fuck, man. Maybe that's what we should do, dude. Go to Vegas and just work the tables. Well, I don't know, man. We'll be like, all right, dude, how many cards you get?
All right.
I don't know this game, man. I got to YouTube it real fast.
Hey, actually, this one's real close to home in some sort of way.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you remember this guy, man. He was never a big star, but he was a wrestler. Mike Awesome.
That name sounds familiar, but I don't know.
But he hung himself here in Tampa.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mike Awesome. I don't know. But yeah, man, but, you know, like, Marilyn Manson once said that suicide is painless, but he was wrong, you know. Maybe for the person, but, you know, you gotta think about shit logically, you know. If you're about to fucking hang yourself or slit your wrist or something, you gotta be like, man, there's all these people around me and shit like that, you know. Like, I don't want to put them through that stuff, you know.
Right.
Like it's horrible, you know. Don't do it. And there's numbers to call, you know. What's the
1-800-273-8255.
Man, I don't know. There's so many of them. If you guys could just go to Facebook, everybody's posting them.
Yeah,
everywhere.
go to Facebook and you know, search for like hashtag suicide prevention. I know that's going around, but yeah, don't do it. You know, if you're feeling bad, call Howie.
All right, call him bullshit with us, man. We'll make you laugh.
Yeah, I mean we may not be in the studio to answer the phone, but leave us a message. We'll call you back. We may not even call you back on the show. We might just call you back and talk to you. But yeah, so you can always call us at 413-38-HOWIE. You can find us on Twitter and Facebook and what was that? I almost said Snapchat. What's that shit called? Instagram?
Yeah, I can't even tell you what our Instagram is.
It's Howie's Coffee. Everything's Howie's Coffee. Howie'sCoffee.com, HowieAtTheCoffeeShop.com.
Man, I had to put my phone down. It's fucking unreal. And that's just musicians that have killed themselves, you know?
Yeah, I mean, money doesn't solve all your problems, you know? You got to get help. And, you know, sometimes just talking to people helps, you know? Sometimes making music helps. Not always,
right.
You know? Fucking write a story. You know, really, Howie just wants to say, don't kill yourself. Everything will be all right. And you know what? Howie's back, bitch. So we'll see you.
All right.
I'm Kenny.
I'm Mike.
Howie'sCoffee.com.
A little bit of disregard, handful of complaints, but I can't help the fact that everyone can see these scars. What I want you to want, what I want you to feel, but it's like no matter what I do, I can't convince you to just believe this is real. So let go, watching you turn your back like you always do. Face away and pretend that I'm not, but I'll be here 'cause you're all that I got. I can't feel the way I did before. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. Time won't take this damage anymore. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. I'm a little bit insecure, a little unconfident, 'cause you don't understand to do what I can, but sometimes I don't make sense. What you never want to say, but I've never had a doubt. It's like no matter what I do, I can't convince you for once just to hear me out. So let go, watching you turn your back like you always do. Face away and pretend that I'm not, but I'll be here 'cause you're all that I got.